Right now, though, let's talk about Pride Month. You may have noticed as a regular viewer or listener, I haven't talked about Pride Month because I'm so fed up with various days, months. It's International Day of this, it's International Week of this, it's International Month of this. I've just got no time for any of this stuff at all. I find it all very, very boring and tedious. I think most people do, and it's just a load of woke nonsense that people talk about. But Pride Month has totally and utterly, it dominates the news. It dominates every website you look at. There are logos up in my office. There are logos up everywhere. It's been everywhere. It's all over our universities, our schools, our corporations, our shops, and even in nurseries. What's going on? When did this happen? Oli London is author of Gender Madness, one man's devastating struggle with woke ideology and his battle to protect children. I'm delighted to say, finally, he's on the show. Good morning to you, Oli.
Good morning. It's great to finally speak to you, Julia.
Lovely. We've been following each other on Twitter and interacting a lot. I think finally an opportunity to get Oli on. Look, I mean, I feel very strongly about gay rights and people being treated equally and respectfully and the celebration of people being who they are and loving who they are. Yeah, all for that. But it seems to me that Pride is no longer about celebrating. Yeah, I don't have to be ashamed of who I am and what I am and who I love, and that's wonderful in this day and age. To now being the sort of political zealotry. What changed?
Absolutely. I mean, we can all agree in this country so many people support gay, lesbian, bisexual and trans people existing and living their lives. But I think the issue that's happened is it's really being pushed down people's throats. We have so many corporations virtue signaling. They're painting the flag all over their buildings. They're putting it on their Twitter profiles. And you have, for instance, football clubs, which sport is not meant to be political. FC Barcelona, all of their Twitter accounts are with the LGBT flag, except the Saudi Arabian account.
Oh, so funny that. Oh, they absolutely believe in things, apart from when you say China or anywhere in the Middle East. I have to say, look, I've got quite a lot of big issues with the trans flag now, actually. I've got no issue with trans, but live your best life. Don't care what you call yourself, what you want to wear. Brilliant. I will, absolutely. I want you to live your life freely and happily. But the rainbow flag is a celebration of just like not being shameful about being gay, which was the case for so many centuries, but being able to be proud and happy about and open about it without fear. But the trans flag with all the extra different colours and bits added in, I consider that to be a misogynistic flag, a flag against women, against gay women. This idea that if you don't agree that men can become women and women can become men, and that trans women have a right to all women's safe spaces and the like, that you're a transphobe. I find that a misogynistic emblem. I don't want to see it hanging everywhere. Rainbow flag, yeah, fine, but that flag, I think that's a political ideology now. I think that's a different kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head, and it also symbolises children being indoctrinated and pushed to transition. And thank goodness the NHS recently changed their rules to ban puberty blockers except in clinical trials, because we're seeing this flag has become associated with this political movement and ideology that women aren't allowed to have a voice, women can't compete in their own sports and speak up, women can't have their own spaces. Or, even prisons in some cases in Scotland, there are biological males in their spaces. So this flag has really become synonymous with that. And it's really sad because the people that are affected the most by this are, firstly, you have women that are having their rights taken away. But, actual people that have struggled with gender dysphoria and, they've been trans their whole life, they suddenly been living their life in peace, and their movement has been hijacked by these radical trans activists that have really politicised this.
That's the thing. It's a completely different thing, isn't it? And I never like the word tolerance, because I think it means you're putting up with people. But just, respect and kindness seem to me to be the watchwords of how we treat people in this country who may or may not be the same or different from us. But I had a friend's nursery, a child's nursery, a 2-year-old going to nursery, and the kids were invited, and this happens all the time. They're constantly doing this, and it was, you're invited to a Pride Day. They're having a Pride march. 2-year-olds, kids, I mean, babies some that can't even walk. They're having a Pride march, and they're asked to come in rainbow colours and to have rainbow, their Pride flag. And you just think, what on earth? I mean, I know they're a gay children. I get that, but I mean, but the idea that a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old. This should even be something that happens in a nursery. I mean, you want to be bringing in sex education and making sure that kids from a very young age know that, you may feel differently and there's nothing wrong with that. And this is, it's really important those messages are given to children. But in a nursery school?
I mean, that's really out of order. It's the fact that these are more political ideologies. It's not just about equality and, who you want to love as an adult. It's now being pushed on very, very young children. And children are so impressionable. So if you're putting all these rainbow flags in a classroom, you're telling them to change their pronouns, they're going to do it because they're listening to the adults that are in charge. So I think it's very wrong to have all of this ideology. And 10 years ago, it was all about, equality and acceptance. Yeah. Now it's really become this almost cult-like ideology where if you do not agree with this, you're a bad person.
Bad person.
Parents
Well,
aren't allowed to object.
Apparently we're both bad people, but there we are. Oli, always good to talk to you. Well, I'm now in real life as opposed to just on Twitter. Oli London, thank you so much.